Okay, so like I said, welcome to the last session of the day. My name's Harry Ye with a Binary Fintech Group. This is a session and talk that I always give at the blockchain conference that Mo puts on. So it's investment and trading strategies in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So what I love about this conference is you can kind of tell the health of Bitcoin by how many cars are outside. So if you take a look at 2018, there was like all Lamborghinis. Today it's just a measly McLaren 720S. But I think next year, I'm pretty sure 2019, you're going to see a lot more Lamborghinis. And there's actually a direct correlation. If you want to see how well the state of the crypto market's actually doing, just look at how many Lamborghinis are actually sold. Okay, so let's dive right into it. So trading cryptocurrencies, what's the topics we're going to go over? We're going to talk about first the state of crypto. Then I'm going to go into some money-making methods and a little bit of history and Q&A about us. So let's get started. So state of crypto. What's important? Well, where is the price of crypto going to be? Is crypto winter over? And very, very important for all of you that are actually trading is that trading has evolved. So first off, where is the price going to be? Moon, baby, moon. So Bitcoin was $1,000 at the beginning of 2017. It's close to $20,000 in 2018. It dropped to about 3,000 and change at the end of 2018. Last year was the best performing alternative asset of 2019, and this year it's already up 15% in 2020. So hodl, hodl, hodl. Can't say it enough. If you don't have any Bitcoin, at least buy some Bitcoin, because this year with the halving, it's very, very possible that Bitcoin could hit $100,000. And I just gotta say, I love Miami because Miami is so nice and warm. In Vancouver, where I'm from, there's 2 feet of snow. So that's one winter I'm used to, but let's talk about the winter that we're all familiar with. Is crypto winter over? So crypto winter is that period from the beginning of 2018 to even now. I think we're in the thawing process, which means that a lot of the ICOs that you've seen before, they're completely getting washed out. But now there's 2 big events that are actually happening this year. First is, of course, it's election year. So cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is a global macro hedge for uncertainty, which means that the worse the world does, the higher the price of Bitcoin, because central banks, governments, they all fail. And then number 2, there's the halving event this year. Which means that every 10 minutes, sometime in May, only 6.25 Bitcoin will be created every 10 minutes, so on and so forth till I believe it's like 2032 when only 1 Bitcoin will be made like every 100 years or something like that. So expect a lot of volatility and price action this year. So it's a very, very exciting year just to start off the decade with Bitcoin. So let's talk about how trading has evolved. The market now is very, 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 very different. Bitcoin used to trade like a penny stock. Now the patterns are very, very similar to financial assets. So it's very, very important if you're actually speculating on Bitcoin or holding Bitcoin that you understand this. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. So right now, since I believe the end of 2017, when CME futures came online, that's when Bitcoin hit the peak, and that's actually when it started correcting. And right now, the derivatives market and futures market actually account for more volume traded because of leverage and borrowing than actual spot. So the futures exchanges that everybody trades on now are BitMEX, Binance, Kraken, and Bitfinex. But a lot of these exchanges are like casinos, so people are just literally gambling. But all of this affects the price of Bitcoin. So derivatives have changed the game. You must pay attention to the CME futures and options because every day the CME futures goes on. I think they do like a maintenance cycle between the hours, I think like 2 to 3 Central Standard Time. And then on the weekends, they close on Friday and they reopen again Sunday afternoon. A lot of people don't know this. So if you've seen price action happen on the weekends, this is actually why. It's because institutional money. How many times have you actually seen where on Friday, all of a sudden the price of Bitcoin drops or it spikes? It's because of the CME futures. People are closing out their positions. So this is a very, very important indicator in the market. So because trading has evolved, the patterns have changed. There's huge amounts of market manipulation now. You will lose money if you don't know this stuff. You can go long and short, but the way the futures markets trade now, you can make money and lose money going long and short. So overall, it is more difficult to make money trading Bitcoin. But that's why I'm here, because I'm here to show you all of this so that you guys can actually make more consistent profits. And that's my goal today to give to you as the audience, is how to actually manage your portfolio a little bit better with crypto, but also to understand and see the different patterns that are actually out there. So how many of you here know about the Bart Simpson pattern? So 1 or 2 people, okay. So everybody knows who Bart Simpson is. If you look at him, he's got his hair. So if you take a look at the Bart Simpson pattern, this has just kind of really started showing up the last 6 months when futures really started getting, like a lot more people just started trading futures. And what happens is, if you take a look at all those red circles, you'll see a sudden spike in buying volume, and you think the price is gonna go up, then it levels out. Then what happens is the price will just tank and drop, literally within like an hour or 2 hours. And this is actually, what's causing this is people that are actually short Bitcoin. A lot of traders will manipulate the price and increase a huge amount of trading volume. Then buyers will also jump in. Then what they'll do is they'll correct and they'll sell against the market. So if you went short, you lose. If you went long, you also lose. So this is why it's important to understand that this pattern actually exists. And this is actually what it looks like. So you have like see Bart Simpson, Bart Simpson, Bart Simpson. Then there's also an upside down Bart Simpson. So this is actually a real trading pattern because it looks like his hair. And then one of my most famous patterns that we talk about in cryptocurrency is the dead cat bounce. So is the dead cat bounce dead? Not really, but it's important to know that the dead cat bounce pattern is typically associated with penny stocks. Because Bitcoin now is maturing, it trades more like a traditional commodity and asset. And with the futures market, you don't tend to see the 10 to 20% drops anymore, or if there is, the prices tend to not correct as quickly because there's derivatives actually in play. So this is just something you need to be aware of. So if the price goes down now, if you notice, it stays depressed a lot more. It doesn't really come back up like it used to. Though there is still the opportunity to make money on this pattern, but it's less and less profitable now. Okay, so let's get into the part why everybody's here. Money-making methods. How can you make money in this market now? So the 3 different methods of making money in this market, these are things that we're actually directly involved with, so they do work. So we'll kind of get started. So for those of you, how many of you here have mined Bitcoin? Okay. How many of you here know what DPOS is? Okay, so still a relatively new concept for most people. So DPOS, delegated proof of stake, security tokens, and electronic market making. These are things you can do today after this conference. We'll get you guys some more information. But you should add this to your portfolio if you guys are looking at making money in crypto. So what is DPOS, delegated proof of stake? I like to think of DPOS as like the new mining in cryptocurrency. So before, if you're making money with Bitcoin mining, you have to run CG Miner. You have to buy a Bitcoin miner from Bitmain or whatnot. Then you plug that in and it generates Bitcoin. Well, what's DPOS? Well, DPOS now says, okay, if I want to secure a blockchain and I own X number of tokens, if let's just say like there's a blockchain with 1 billion tokens and somebody owns 100 million tokens, well, they're incentivized to secure the blockchain based on their proof of stake. If I'm somebody else that also owns some of that token, I can delegate my tokens to somebody that runs a validator node on the network. And what happens is now we're securing a blockchain network without, there's no actual carbon. There's a carbon footprint if you're running servers, but a lot less than Bitcoin mining. So 3 of the tokens that we've actually mentioned here, so we trade these and we also do DPOS with these, are Tezos, Atom, and Phantom. So Tezos, minus their drama that they had a while back, now is one of the best performing tokens. So if you want to make some passive income, 6% a year, not even including the price of what Tezos is actually worth, you can actually start doing that today. You buy Tezos and you stake Tezos. You buy Atom and you stake Atom for 8%. So Atom is also known as Cosmos. Cosmos is Atom. And then Phantom, which is one of the ones that we invested in a while ago, it was paying actually 200% annually for I think 2 weeks ago. But because the network's actually growing, so now it's 35% per year. So this is all passive income stuff. So if you want to kind of get involved and kind of see how you can actually make some money while your crypto's sitting around, you can either lend it out. That's one way, but DPOS is also the other way. So if you don't want to set up all the infrastructure, some of our really, really good friends over at hyperblocks.pro, we recommend them as the validators for Tezos, Atom, and Phantom. They've also got some other tokens, but these are the three big ones. Just go on there. They charge like a small management fee, but then you guys don't have to worry about setting up all the infrastructure because it is a lot of work to set up these validator nodes. And if you want to find a little bit more about all the different tokens that are actually out there, I recommend going to stakingrewards.com. So let's talk about security tokens real quick. What are security tokens? Well, security tokens are exactly that. They're asset-backed security, such as whether it's a bond or a stock. And security tokens right now are probably in the same state where I would say Bitcoin was in 2011 or 2012. So if you tried to buy Bitcoin in 2011 or 2012, it was very, very challenging. You could either go to Mt. Gox or Bitstamp, but it was just very, very difficult for you to buy Bitcoin. The same thing right now is happening with security tokens, and I'm going to show you some different opportunities that are actually existing today. So the opportunity of mispriced tokens based on liquidity. There's really only two platforms that you can trade on right now. That's Securitize and Open Finance. So one of the tokens that we're invested in, I bought $1 million worth of a blockchain capital and BCAP back in 2017. It was the first token that's actually an actual security. So this is a VC-backed token. So right now, as of yesterday, the NAV is $3.36, but the last trade of this token was actually $2.68. So what's the trade here? The trade here is if you have some money and you want exposure to Coinbase, Circle, Kraken, it means you here in the audience, if you want to own a piece of Coinbase or a piece of any of these great companies, this is like the only way you can really kind of get access to it. If you want to buy like $100 worth of like this venture capital fund, you actually can. But why it's so mispriced is because people need the liquidity right now. So if you don't need liquidity now, this one's like a no-brainer. I mean, that look, what 268 to like 336, that's like almost like a 30% difference just from holding your money in the security. And blockchain capital is one of the best venture capital funds in the space. There's also lottery.com. If you go to Securitize and you go to Open Finance, you'll see all these tokens listed. It's definitely like a nugget for all of you guys. So that's why I wanted to share that today. Okay, and now, the really fun stuff, the stuff that I spend most of my time doing, my background's engineering, is electronic market making. What is electronic market making? Before, you could actually buy Bitcoin on one exchange, sell it on another exchange because you had inefficiencies with the way the banking system worked, the SWIFT networks. Well, that inefficiencies disappeared because you have Tether, you have USDC. So now all of these tokens that actually exist that represent a dollar-backed remove the inefficiency from the SWIFT networks. So if you notice now, even when arbitrage exists, it disappears very, very quickly. So how do you take advantage of this? Well, the only way you can take advantage of this is through electronic market making. So the same way that DPOS is kind of like the new mining in crypto, I like to say that electronic market making is the new arbitrage and trading. And this is a form of high-frequency trading. So what's high-frequency trading? Well, aim for small, consistent profits and small percentages with large frequency of trades versus larger percentage gains with less frequency of trades. So what does that mean? It means if I'm going to put on a trade, I want to buy something for 50, make 1/4%, 0.5%, 1%, another 1/4%. Do that like 1,000 times. You can have wins and losses, and that adds up to like 2, 3, 4% versus, okay, I'm just going to buy something, hold it, and make 10% on it. So that's the difference. And what I'm really, really excited about today, and I haven't been excited in kind of a while, but the same way that a blockchain, everybody's been creating tokens about the protocol layer. Hummingbot.io, where's Michael Feng? See that guy over there, stand up, please? So Michael Feng is the CEO and founder of Hummingbot.io. Yep. And I'm really excited about this. I'm an advisor with the company. I've been working with these guys for 10 months. And because we built, one of the biggest pain points for us was building our own engineering tool set. But by working with Hummingbot, it's open source, it's institutional grade, no coding skills are actually required. So for us, we focus really, really just on the trading part. But what's awesome is think of CG Miner, but for liquidity for cryptocurrency exchanges. That means everybody in this audience today, you can download a copy of Hummingbot, run it on certain exchanges, and actually start trading electronically. So they've developed a system where you can actually just create your strategy, and depending on the different exchanges that are actually out there, their entire engineering toolkit's actually built in Python. So, but also it runs really, really quick on Python. So I wanted to really kind of highlight this because what's one of the biggest challenges if you're a token issuer? So if you're a token issuer, when you're ready to go live, you want to go to all the exchanges, but there's hedge funds and people that will charge you enormous fees just to do market making for you. But what Hummingbot has actually created is an incentivized systems working with the liquidity, the token providers that actually incentivizes you as a person that's running Hummingbot to make money. Even if your trades don't make money, there's like what, $10,000 per month on some of these tokens that they're actually giving away as like liquidity bounties to increase volume on exchanges and increase exposure of the token. So very, very cool stuff what these guys are actually doing. And then you go to hummingbot.io, you can kind of take a look and you can actually see what different types of tokens are actually available. And have a little bit of time left, thanks. So the time will go. Thank you. That's why I like being last and being a sponsor, because I get a little bit more time. So a little bit of history about us. So for those of you that don't know, we used to be called Binary Financial, but because we've migrated more towards a fintech, we're rebranded now as Binary Fintech Group. I ran 2 hedge funds before. First fund returned about 200%, second one 700% at the peak, and then it returned all capital to investors. We still have an OTC desk, so we're one of the world's oldest and premier OTC trading desks. We're internationally based in Canada, Singapore, and the UAE. Our minimum trade size for cryptocurrency is typically about $500,000, but of course, if I know you, that number is different. And for those of you that are actually high net worth, what we provide now is if you don't want the hassle of setting up DPOS or high frequency trading electronic market making, come talk to us about it, and we'll kind of get you guys set up. We're also, of course, like I said, we're hummingbot.io advisors. If you want to contact us, same email, same Twitter. That's it. Open up for Q&A if I'm allowed to do Q&A. Are we allowed to do Q&A? Okay, so there's one question right there. Could you stand up or can somebody give him a mic?
I can talk about what's the difference between level.co, level.co versus Hummingbot?
Sorry, I can't.
So I noticed that level.co, LVL.co, is doing the same thing with money market making, and I see that Hummingbot's doing the same thing. What's the difference between the 2 platforms? I know level.co is also an exchange, and their market is kind of, the order book's really thin, but is that the same theory where, let's say you put half in Bitcoin and 1,000 in cash, gradually it's gonna be more one asset versus the other, right? So how do you make sure it's 50% of what you wanna trade against?
Okay, so that's like 3 questions.
Sorry.
Right, so your first question is, what's the difference between level.co and hummingbot.io? I don't know what level.co is, but I can just tell you that Hummingbot, it's an open source market maker toolkit that actually integrates with, I think currently right now they integrate with a Binance, Coinbase. They've also they're working on Kraken and Bitfinex and all the different exchanges. They have a platform where you can build custom connectors. And they also work with decentralized exchanges. So that's like, Hummingbot is a platform and a tool set for trading. That's actually what it is. So I hope that answers your question. And I wasn't sure what the second or third one is, but.
Maybe we could take that one off the stage. So.
Okay, sure. Okay, sounds good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Yeh!